Yeah, I think right here is probably where we want to be, right? I don't think there's a whole lot visually you need out of the Gothix video. You just need the audio, right? We're good to go. So, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't been watching, one of the funnest things that have happened on that's happened on this channel so far, and yes, I did say funnest, things that's happened so far is that Gothix actually reacted to one of my videos. I'm still like, now I think I'm like a 5 to 10 viewer Andy. You know, I was a 2 to 3 viewer Andy before, 2 viewer Andy, and Gothix. I used to up until very recently I streamed early in the morning, and Gothix actually reacted to one of my streams, like, and it was one of the ones she did on the trans agenda, and it was wild. She actually like did a react video and posted it on Twitter and stuff. It was fucking crazy. It was very, very wild. And yeah, so I established something that day is that Gothix definitely name searches herself on Twitch. So I have now that I say that, and I've spoken with Gothix on the screen for long enough, like the thumbnail has been here long enough that I can say, "Hi, Gothix. Hello. Hopefully you enjoy. If you got here earlier because your name's in the title, welcome." But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the music so far. I had a little bit of we buried the lead just a little. We watched a little bit of news first, but we're here to react now. So get cozy, react in chat if you feel the need. But I'm glad that you're here. Every viewer counts, even if you lurk, especially if you lurk. Actually, I think anytime you give a channel your time, it's valuable. So thank you very much.
Attracts predators.
Oh,
Victimhood attracts predators. This is a concept that I've spoken about time and time again on this channel, but a lot of my critics, when they hear this, they get upset because they confuse this statement with me not being compassionate or me not acknowledging people's individual struggles. No, I get that people struggle, but it can't stop there. You have to push yourself to overcome and persevere, because if you don't, someone will use your weakness as an opportunity to sell you a solution that you may already have a solution for. And what problem?
Perseverance and what exactly did she say?
Struggles. No, I get that people struggle, but it can't stop there. You have to push yourself to overcome and persevere.
Okay. Push yourself to overcome and persevere. I guess something tells me that's gonna come. We're gonna come around to that. I haven't watched this video yet, but if I've watched a Gothix video or two, usually when she makes a definitive statement like that in the beginning of her video, she comes around to contradicting it. So let's just remember: push yourself and persevere.
Because if you don't, someone will use your weakness as an opportunity to sell you a solution that you may already have a solution for. And what problem is that exactly? Victimhood. Victimhood is the problem, and I called this once BLM reemerged last summer. This movement did nothing but create racial tensions with the purpose of keeping the population.
BLM didn't create racial tensions. They were already there. They just, like, literally black people were already getting murdered in the streets, like, at a disproportionate rate by the police. Talking about racial issues does not create racial issues. Those are two completely different things.
Fixated on racism, and it worked. Seriously, you can't deny it. Everywhere you turn, someone's talking about systemic racism, critical race theory, implicit bias.
Based, good, based, awesome. People need to be talking about this stuff. Discourse is good.
White supremacy. It's honestly exhausting.
Yep, good for you. I'm glad you're exhausted. Discourse, baby. That's the whole fucking point. That's what we do. We talk for a living, yo. Like, what? You should be ecstatic that more people are talking about fucking race issues. You're making a literal video that you're trying to get money off of right now. Like, right now, Gothix is making money off of speaking on race issues as, like, the fuck. Like, literally the last person that should be upset about this.
So regardless if you supported the movement or you're actively working to defeat racism...
Yo, Sater, if you're watching, just as an aside, I can't tell if you are or not. Or if my wife is watching, isn't this something Seder would wear? Isn't this collar something Seder would totally wear? You know what I'm saying? Like, say, like, hold up. Let me get my big ass head off the screen real quick. Isn't this totally a collar that Seder would wear? I think so. I don't know if you can type in chat, so it's okay if you can't. I'm just gonna like move on because I'm gonna assume that you can't type in chat, and I think Seder's actually napping right now. But just keep this in mind. I think this is the type of thing he would totally wear. Just saying. Just saying. We don't knock Gothix for her fashion sense. It's actually usually pretty much on fucking point. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy watching these videos is that it's good bad opinions to react to and knock down, but at least it's not just like an angry dude in front of a poorly lit library or basement. You know, like that's what you get with most of these other reacts. At least Gothix puts some sort of thought into her aesthetics to accompany her fucking terrible opinions.
We need to have an honest conversation about society's obsession with skin color and why it's in our best interest to stop doing it. So for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a false narrative that's being pushed.
Okay. I'm a pause, Andy. I pause too fucking much. I get it. I know. Okay, I know. So I paused like 3 times in that sentence, so I need to actually listen to the sentence front to back. All right, like I need to check it out.
It's honestly exhausting. So regardless if you supported the movement or you're actively working to defeat racism, we need to have an honest conversation about society's obsession with skin color and why it's in our best interest to stop doing it. So
stop obsessing with skin color? Is that what you're trying to that's the end goal is just okay. So it's really funny. That's what I thought happened. I just wanted to go back and review. So the sentence before that, she said, "Wow, this racial discourse sure is exhausting." And then the very next sentence, she was like, "We need to have a racial discourse." It's like we need to have an honest conversation about race. No, not like that. She did it, but with like in Yoda. And her ordering was more like Yoda, you know, like not like that. You will have a racial discourse. Fucking A, Mr. Brain Dead. Get more viewers. Damn, how else do I know you're streaming? Yeah, I know. I'm buried. I'm in the underground. I'm in the streamer underground, Mr. Brain Dead. You know, it's funny. I had 9 viewers earlier, but then like I had my tummy wasn't feeling so good, so I had to go upstairs and like it like cut my viewers in half, and I was like, God damn it! If only I wasn't a robot, I would have been able to keep those viewers. Shit. Well, welcome in. I'm glad you're here, Mr. Brain Dead. Fucking smoke him if you got him.
So for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a false narrative that's being pushed by leeching off of the racial tensions that were manifested last summer. But before we get started, I just want to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring today's video. Now more than ever, our internet reliance has been rapid. Surfshark, you're living it. And you don't like it, you can simply like. Does it sound like the back to the show? Jim, and get your money back.
Goddamn.
Does it sound like my family is about to get drenched by a fire hose? Does it sound like my family like? Does it sound like the KKK 2.0? I want you to listen to that. So if you try it and you don't like it...
So, like, I skipped too far past... Oh, wait, I have Surfshark. That's hilarious. Hey, how is it, Mr. Brain Dead, if you don't mind talking about it? I've been thinking about getting a VPN. I mean, I already have a VPN. Anybody listening, this is all, like, super locked down and secure. But, yeah... I skipped too far past that she was talking about getting hit with a water hose, and I was like, fuck, that's too far forward.
You can simply cancel your subscription and get your money back and go buy something else. Sure. All right, so back to the show. Jim Crow 2.0. I want you to listen to that. Jim Crow 2.0. What does that sound like? Does it sound like the KKK is outside my door? Does it sound like...
That's not what Jim Crow was. It's cheap as fuck. That's why I bought that one. I was paying for VPN Express, which is great and pretty fast, but Surfshark is cheaper and it's been fine for what I need. Sweet, cool, cool, cool. I'll seriously like. I need to do like. I've been thinking about because I want to like stream Netflix 60ish for 2 years plus. You get invite people to the app and get free months. Cool. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I'll seriously consider that. That's not. That's the fuck. I fucking hate that this fucking advertisement's actually working right now. Integrated advertisements actually working on us right now. God damn it. uh, but yeah, okay. So just to let you know, I gotta stop. Pause it. I gotta stop this video. We gotta look up because conservatives love to fucking do this. They love to bring something up that people vaguely know about and then riff on that to make a point, but they don't actually like. So, yeah, Jim Crow laws were laws that mandated the segregation of public schools, public places, public transportation, the segregation of restrooms, restaurants, drinking fountains, and between black and white people. So basically, the Jim Crow laws were a set of laws that was like people like it wasn't like a bunch they signed the Jim Crow Accords or whatever. It was just what we call them now, and it was a series of laws that were basically meant to shit on black people, right? And it was like that black like so when you talk about like black people not being able to use the same water fountains as white people, when you talk about black people, it's like being controversial that black people ate at a certain like diner and got like their protest was eating at going in the front door of a diner. You know, that's the Jim Crow laws because it was like actually legislated that black and white people had separate shit, right? And public schools was another big obvious implication of this, or not implication, but yeah, I guess implication of this. So yeah, it's just discrimination. You can check out the Wikipedia article and know all about the Jim Crow laws. Now, that's what the Jim Crow laws were. They were laws. The state actually legislated something that directly segregated and hurt black people. Okay, it wasn't the fucking KKK. It wasn't the fucking people, like it wasn't the result of protests or anything like that. It was a set of laws that were that were put in place that separated fucking black and white people and made black people secondhand citizens. So it was a set of laws that basically hurt black people and made them socially and economically lesser than. Okay, that's why people call what they say Jim Crow 2.0. They're alluding to the same set of laws because it's literally the state taking away power from black people. Like that is the result of these laws. That's what they're arguing. So it's not going to look like they're trying to evoke the ghost of Jim Crow era or whatever, you know, because people aren't being like kicked out of diners for eating in the front in coming in the front door of a diner, because people aren't literally because it's not illegal to date or marry a white woman, you know. They're going to try to claim that this is hyperbole, that this is inappropriate to call it Jim Crow 2.0. But it's actually like what they're saying is that it's just laws that are designed to disempower and to disenfranchise fucking black people. And that's what the original Jim Crow laws did, is just directly disenfranchise black people. I hate when reading $3.38 a month, but you have to pay that like 2 years in bulk. Yeah, true. Jim Crow also gave way to other laws that fell under Jim Crow, like the Sunset Laws, the lynching laws, and the voter test, along with segregation, separate but equal. Yes, true, exactly. No, it's going to be a lot more subtle than that, and it's been more subtle. Yes, exactly. It's going to continue to fuck it over. Yeah, yeah. What? I heard Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro or somebody say BIPOC people, BIPOC people. So every time I read it, I hear that shit in my head. But yeah, no, absolutely, Mr. Braindead, absolutely. Like, that's how they, they got smarter with their fucking discrimination and their oppression of fucking black people. And fortunately, they have these cheerleaders that can cover for them and say, because, hey, oh, look, they're hiding it. So obviously it's not happening. It's more subtle now. So this doesn't look exactly the same. So therefore, it isn't the same, or isn't even discrimination, which I'm sure Gothix is going to continue on to say.
Like my family is about to get drenched by a fire hose? Does it mean I have to eat in a designated section for people that look like me or sit in the back of the bus?
Oh, hey, yeah, it's actually first solution to the fucking Jim Crow laws. Pause Andy strikes again.
Does Jim Crow 2.0 mean that I don't have a right to vote? To me, Jim Crow 2.0 sounds less of racism and more of a manipulation tactic. Now, I pride myself
Like, wait, calling it Jim Crow is a manipulation tactic? I'm going to be charitable and say that's what she meant.
in trying to be as objective as possible.
We're in the South. Lindsey Graham openly said black and Latino people can walk freely in South Carolina. They just have to be conservative. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They just have to fucking fall in line, dude. Lindsey goddamn Graham, yo. Like, I don't like calling anybody a cuck in politics or on the internet socially. Like, I think that's an insult to cucks. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some, hey, cuck holds rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people out there who don't fucking kink shame. There's some people who out there who really enjoy that shit, and it whatever people like to do in their own homes. So you know what? It's an insult to fucking cucks to call Lindsey Graham a fucking cuck. But yeah, I'm like tempted, and I'm tested in those moments with Lindsey fucking Graham, that fucking guy. Like, Lindsey, I'll never forget Lindsey. Lindsey Graham's name is Lindsey. If we elect Donald Trump, we will destroy ourselves, and we deserve it. Graham, like, fucking A. It's 100% an insult to cucks. Yeah, vote against Lindsey Graham, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Jamie Harrison. Exactly. Yo, Mr. Braindead, I'm in Kentucky, and this is the land of fucking Mitch McConnell and fucking Rand Paul. So, like, I 100% understand voting the lesser of the fucking evils. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking Kentucky politics. Beshear is damn nepotism. Like, his daddy was the governor before him. Yeah, right. Who could possibly be worse than Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul? This is getting me off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's what's so fucking frustrating is that who could possibly lose to damn Mitch McConnell, literally fucking Darth Vader of the Senate, who blocks anything from happening. Who could possibly be the worst possible candidate to put in to ignite progressive Kentucky? Oh yeah. Oh, that's fucking right. Oh yeah. I'm a Marine and a mom. God damn it. I'm a Marine and a mom. Fuck. Country over party. Fuck you, dude. Yeah, country over party. You lost twice. You got your shit pushed in twice because nobody wants milquetoast ass Democrats here in fucking Kentucky. This is all outside money. That's the only reason we had fucking Amy McGrath, dude. It was outside fucking money. Seriously. God damn it. We wanted Cory Booker, who actually is running, next year against Rand Paul, I do believe. So that is something to get excited about. I'm not like hugely excited because Rand Paul is even somehow more popular in this state than fucking Mitch McConnell. But, there's always a shot. I'm going to get out and work my ass off. I'm going to try to. Yeah, McGrath sucks. She's terrible. She was the literal worst. She she fucking pissed me off because like she literally said at the beginning of when she was first running, like it was like in March when we were voting in that November, she said something to the effect of the reason why Mitch McConnell is bad at being a senator is because he's not letting Donald Trump do enough. Like that was like the first interview she said when she was like laying out her position still, and it was like the death knell for her here in the state because no, dude, because like Republicans aren't gonna fucking trust you because you're a Democrat, and Democrats like hate Mitch McConnell in this state, dude. So like, of course they're not gonna, and Donald Trump especially. So like, of course they're not gonna vote for him, you know. But she was just trying to like ride off the popularity of Trump. Anyway, sorry, I got off on a tangent about Amy McGrath. We got, I mean, we're talking about voter suppression and fucking only having 2 candidates to vote for, and the reason why we always have bad candidates, actually, that very closely ties into voter suppression. So at least we're sort of on track. At least we're sort of on track.
Possible. However, this is something that I can't consciously ignore, and it needs to be addressed. Democratic politicians? I'm talking to you. Well, some of you. I don't like to generalize, but you know who you are. The 2020 presidential election was a pretty interesting one. Now, per YouTube's terms of service, I'm very limited to what I can discuss about this particular topic, but I will say that the event
fucking cry about it like they always cry about it like they're so censored. They're so censored. All they have to not say is that Donald Trump, like, they just have to agree that Donald Trump lost the election. That's it. That's it. That's all they have to do. Donald Trump lost the election. Coronavirus is something you should fucking worry about. And vaccines are generally more healthy than not getting a vaccine for most people when it comes to fucking the virus, right? That's generally it. That's all you have to comply with or whatever. And that takes care of you. But that is a bridge too far for like 90 fucking % of Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is way too far. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I don't like to generalize. Conservatives. Fuck. We need to run a free-loving, gun-loving, government-hating leftist. Yes! True. You know, that would be like, and I feel like 2 candidates, one districting is all fucked, and you only get 1 representative to choose from, and it's always a Republican. Yeah, exactly. It's the problem, and we have the same problem here in Kentucky. But, like, I like, my sister works with a lobbying group or whatever, and I've been telling conservative friends, what's the deal? Trump's vaccine not good enough for you? That's pretty fucking funny. That's a pretty good meme. But I've been like, you know, I have this discourse with my sister, you know, of how to like reach people in the holler. You know what I'm saying? Like how to reach people that are deep in Trump country and because that's the thing is that for the most part, people in the holler aren't generally as homophobic as people think because people in the holler are gay too, y'all. like gay people are fucking everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So that means in the holler too. So like the shit, you know, and trans people are everywhere too. Like, so that includes in the fucking holler, right? So like, it's not, I think it's more, you need to tap into like how the South has been kind of forgotten and rural areas have been forgotten by people. And that's why they fucking hated Hillary Clinton so much, right? You know, like you said, we need a freedom-loving, gun-loving, government-hating lefty, right? Somebody who's trying to, like, use the government's money to help the people as much as possible, not just make government smaller, you know? But it's hard to sell that to people because they've been sold that the government actually helping you personally. They've been brainwashed into the propagandized to, like, the government actually doing something to help you is sacrilege, right? Anyway, back on track.
Event could be summarized as half the population believing the results. 2020 presidential election was a pretty interesting one. Now, per YouTube's terms of service, I'm very limited to what I can discuss about this particular topic, But I will say that the event could be summarized as half the population believing the results were legitimate and the other half believing the results were, you know, and regardless.
Okay, so as of last month, it's 1/3. A little bit less than half, but 1/3 still fucking terrifying. Okay, that's still fucking terrifying. That 1/3 of the country believes that doesn't believe in a fair election. Like that's pretty fucked up. But that's less than half. I knew that it was an exaggeration. I just didn't know by how much. You know, yeah, 1/3 is 100 million people. That's still a shitload of people that believe that the election was stolen. But like, what like yeah, that's really discerning.
Regardless of where you land on this particular topic, one thing rings true, and that was that mail-in voting was at an all-time high. Now,
Yeah.
after that entire situation, we had all of these Democratic leaders opposing voter ID laws like SB 202 or SB 7, citing that they would be the equivalent to Jim Crow 2.0, and it would disproportionately keep Black, Latino, and Native American voters from casting their ballots. Oh, also, it was ableist as well. It's interesting because I don't recall this much objection over voter IDs prior to Obama going into office.
What the fuck are you talking about? These are all new laws. These laws weren't introduced back when Obama was fucking coming in. What the actual shit are you talking about? What? What?
In fact, when I was still mesmerized by identity politics, I didn't find much difficulty obtaining an ID and finding my way to the polling place.
Well, that's fucking good for you. Also, it's way different. If you're talking about getting an ID back in to vote for Obama in, let's see, 2020, back 2016 to 2008. So fucking yeah, getting an ID is way different in 2021 than it was in 2008. 13 fucking years ago. Most of the time you have to get a real ID, which is like you have to have a birth certificate and shit. Like it's completely different. We can't have mail-in ballots, and if you want to vote, you can't have water, food, or extra polling place to help out with massive lines. We need to get rid of those states. Yeah, exactly. And it's only in the states that went fucking Democrat or like that were like close that did this, right? And or at least they're the ones that really, really want to push for it. And fuck yeah, these laws are ableist. Not being able to give somebody fucking aid when they have to be outside in a line. Yes, that's fucking ableist. Not letting somebody suppressing mail-in voting is absolutely ableist. What the fuck are you talking about? What like that's not even hard. That's literally simple if you just think about it for 2 fucking seconds. Like of course it's ableist. Are you kidding? And also having to cut down the number of polling places you have to have is totally ableist too, because that's going to reduce the chances of those places being accessible to everybody. Of course it's ableist. But like in the reason why people call these laws racist is because they've done like the actual research and they know that the result of this suppression is less fucking black and brown people vote, you know, less marginalized groups vote in general.
In fact, it was very easy actually. The same can go
Cool anecdote, Annie.
for the previous year. I had no problems casting my vote and I can't think of anyone else that did. So why
Sweet. Cool research. You or none of your personal friend group had a problem voting. I am very fucking happy for you.
Why are politicians claiming that voter ID laws are racist? I think it's racist in itself to assume that black people can figure out how to obtain an ID and cast their vote. But you know what? For the sake of this argument, let's say that black and brown people can't obtain an ID. Well, that would suggest that these same folks have never opened up a bank account, driven a car,
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, all right, let's run down all these. You can actually do most of these things without a fucking ID.
just alcohol or cigarettes.
Hey, oh yeah, actually, it's funny. All these things that you list, you can totally without, because most places want you to have a state-issued driver's license. You can get an ID that's got your age on it to get alcohol and tobacco. Never boarded a plane? Like, that's actually, there's lots of ways to board a plane without having an ID. I mean, we don't, here in the South, we don't want to talk about prescription meds without an ID, right? Right. But going back up top to no driving, no bank account, what? Some of these are just factually fucking incorrect. You can totally get welfare without fucking having a driver's license, which is what these states are requiring to vote. You can totally get unemployment, food stamps, welfare, all that shit. You can rent a house without having a driver's license. Absolutely you can. Never visited a casino. No, you can absolutely get non-driver's license IDs for all of these, right? But the thing is that there's the extra step, the extra mile. Like here in Kentucky, for example, we have what's called the Real ID, okay? The Real ID. They're requiring everybody in the state to get one of those IDs to vote, right? And you have to go through an extra set of hoops. You have to provide extra paperwork to prove who you are, even if you already have an ID, even if you already have a driver's license, right? You have to provide all this extra stuff to have this super secure ID from Kentucky, right? And of course, it costs fucking money too, beyond all that, right? So, of fucking course, they're gonna say that it's they're gonna conflate having an ID to having the state issued required ID that you need to vote, right? They're gonna say those are the same because they're gonna imply that everybody in the world has the ID or the capacity to do all these things. Also, if you've been to fucking jail, yeah, it's really hard to get a driver's license and it's really hard to fucking drive, especially like, for example, if you've had a fucking DUI before, it's really hard to get a driver's license, and yeah, you don't fucking drive, which makes it really hard to get to a polling place and fucking vote. It's really cool of you to point out why these laws discriminate against fucking marginalized groups. Holy shit. Like, these are problems that literally disproportionately affect marginalized people. And she's literally pointing them out and saying that these laws aren't racist or don't disproportionately affect marginalized people. Like, I'm lucky to be a small town Andy, and I didn't have people who were at the polling place when I went. In 2016, the shit was packed. I didn't vote. Yeah, it was discouraging to vote if you lived in rural-ass America in 2016. I still went and voted just because, like, I'm stubborn. But, like, yeah, when you knew for a fact we were going to go for Trump, it, like, made it less attractive. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Yes. Sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't realize that's what you were waiting on.
I was waiting for a pause.
I don't pause often. So yeah.
Received prescription medication, boarded a plane, applied for Medicaid, unemployment, Social Security, and welfare, to name a few. This also means that we're talking
Also, like, the states are not universal on who requires what identification to get those services.
About an extremely small minority of citizens. So let's take it a step further and say yes, there are some people that just don't know how to get an ID or they don't have the resources to obtain one. Okay, that's a problem. Maybe they don't have a computer in order to find the information they need. Luckily for them, there are computers they can use at public libraries for free. Don't know how to use—
Yeah, how the fuck you get to a public library if you can't drive, Gothix? You just fucking teleport there? How the fuck you get to use that resource if you don't have a fucking driver's license to drive a car? If you live in fucking rural ass fucking middle America? Do you just fly to the goddamn public library, Gothix? The fuck are you talking about?
a computer? Thankfully, they also have people called library aides that are there to help. But you know what? Maybe they can't figure out how to get to the library. Maybe they just don't have a way to get there. They don't have a car, or maybe it's too far. Okay, fine. By that logic, that would mean that this individual does nothing. They don't move at all, and they stay in that exact same place day in and day out. Do they find ways to get groceries? Go to the doctors? Go to church? To see their family? Go on vacation? Then what's preventing them from getting to the library? We've got city buses, subways, rideshare,
Holy shit. They are so close to getting the fucking point. She's like painfully fucking close to getting the point, y'all. She's like, she's so close to getting it. I think we can pull Gothix back, dude. I think we really can. Holy shit. She's so fucking close. She's so close to getting it. Because guess what? All those things, excuse me, but in the age of digital media and sharing, who goes to the library? Exactly. Oh, who funds the fucking library too? Who funds the fucking library? You're lucky if you even have a library in your town. Like, that actually like has decent internet access. Can you go back? I was distracted myself chatting. Yeah. No, I will too. Yeah. No. This is wild. They're so close to getting the point.
So let's take it a step further and say yes, there are some people that just don't know how to get an ID or they don't have the resources to obtain one. Okay, that's a problem. Maybe they don't have a computer in order to find the information they need. Luckily for them, there are computers they can use at public libraries for free. Don't know how to use a computer? Thankfully, they also have people called library aides that are there to help. But you know what? Maybe they can't figure out how to get to the library. Maybe they just don't have a way to get there. They don't have a car, or maybe it's too far. Okay, fine. By that logic, that would mean that this individual does nothing. They don't move at all, and they stay in that exact same place day in and day out. Do they find ways to get groceries? Go to the doctors? Go to church? To see their family? Go on vacation? Then what's preventing them from getting to the library?
Holy fucking shit, dude. Holy shit. She's so fucking close to getting it. Like, I literally was this person, not even fucking like, I was this person in when she was talking about getting her driver's license in 2006 or 2000 when Obama got elected the first time. Guess the fuck what? I was exactly this person. Okay, I was poor as fuck. I didn't have a fucking I couldn't afford a fucking car. Okay, and my license was fucking expired. I lived on an expired license for 2 or 3 fucking years because I couldn't get to the fucking courthouse to get it renewed. Because you know why? Because I was working my goddamn ass off every day. Right? I didn't have fucking time to do that shit. Okay? So let's run through all those things.
We've got city buses, subways. They stay in that exact same place day in and day out. Do they find ways to get groceries?
Nope. Actually, the answer was fucking nope. I stole food from fucking work. I used to work at a fucking restaurant and I fucking took food from home. I couldn't afford to get fucking groceries, actually. But that's a whole different story. But for real. And maybe once I've got one of my homies to give me to run me to the fucking store, and also because public service buses suck balls in the South and Midwest, especially. They suck balls in the whole fucking country, but especially bad in the South and Midwest, right? Buses ain't shit here, okay? They're terrible.
Go to the doctors?
Nope. Nope, I didn't have fucking health care. Doctors, what the shit's that? I worked until my damn appendix burst and I had to go to the fucking ER. Are you kidding? What the fuck is a doctor? All right, here's my free public transportation. Where's my free public library? What if I live 50 miles from the closest bus stop? And where the fuck is the solution for all of these? Oh wait, they cost too much to pay for them. Exactly. That's so wild. And then yeah, if healthcare, go to the doctors. Yeah, fucking right. Nope.
Go to church.
Yeah, well. We gave up on that one a long time ago.
To see their family.
I wish. Yo, I lived a town over. And the only time I saw my mom was when she fucking came and picked me up. Seriously. I lived 35 minutes away from my mom's, and like I got to see her once every 3-4 months, and like she lived 30 minutes away, but we just couldn't work it out ever, you know? And my sister lived miles, like hours away. She was going to school hours away. I saw her maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe a handful of times the whole time she was in fucking school. Yeah, it's fucking hard, dude. See your family, like, and also like, it's just like, I guess this section of the video just hit me a certain way because I was literally this exact person, like, who couldn't afford to do any of this shit, like. Stuff that people literally take for granted. Yeah, and guess what? I didn't fucking do nothing. I walked to school and fucking work. Every single day. I walked 3 miles back and forth to school every single fucking day and then walked back and forth to work to, like, you know, feed myself. Like, seriously, there's so many people, like, just like it just proves that talking about this shit, you have to operate from such a fucking place of privilege. Man, I'm so happy Darwinism is playing out in real time on the massive scale. Yeah, infrastructure is crumbling. Oh, it costs too much to pay for it. Sorry. Yeah, we need to clutch our dollars as the fucking world burns around us. Yeah, exactly.
Go on vacation? Then what's preventing them from
Go on vacation? Go on vacation.
I am Ric Flair, the President of the United States.
Thank you so much. K Grill. Wow. Okay. All right. We're gonna give this a good old college try here. K Riggs Galder. K Riggs Galder. 04. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Welcome. All right. Hopefully you're enjoying the content.
getting to the library? We've got city buses, subways, rideshare, taxi.
City bus, which we've already established sucks. Subway, yeah, fucking right in the Midwest. Okay, yeah, fucking right. Where the fuck is my? Dude, I know so many people. Like, I've been on a subway once when I went to DC on a fucking field trip when I was like 9. Okay, one time I've been on the fucking subway. Okay, like, I know people who have never been on a metro or subway in their fucking life because they live in the middle, they live in the South or Midwest, and that's not a fucking thing we have here. Are you kidding? Like, I had a different experience, had transportation to school, car rides from parents, but no one wanted me to work, get a car, or do anything but school. True. That's so common, Mr. Braindead. That's so common early on. I registered to vote in 08, but then got bitched out for asking for a ride to the polling place. You know Obama is going to lose in SC. It's pointless. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, and you know what? That's one of the methods of keeping control, right? It's just constantly reaffirming that it's hopeless, you know? Funny they both voted for Obama. Yeah.
He was trying to fuck on me.
Yeah, we got a prime sub. Fucking A, pog as fuck. All right. Thank you so much, K Gris Gold. That's the shit. That's actually it's Cody Rhodes. It's Cody Rhodes telling a story about Ted DiBiase. Actually no, we'll watch it since we subbed. It's still pretty. See if I can find it. Shit. Thank you so much for that Prime sub. That is so fucking pog you. If you're just a lurker, you don't feel like comfortable chatting, I completely understand. But if you want, I will take a shot of hot sauce to celebrate the Prime sub. I really fucking appreciate that. Yeah. I'm going to be streaming for a grip. I'm going to be on for a while, Mr. Braindead. I'm just getting warmed up. We're only halfway through this Gothix video, and I've already, like, paused Andy'd a whole bunch. If you're going to be here for, like, the next 2 seconds, I'll show you where that video came from. I'm leaving for another 10. I'm not leaving for another 10. Okay, cool.
I'll tell you a quick story about a ref. All right, we've seen enough.
All right, we don't need to. I'm going to skip most of this story.
Ted DiBiase Jr. and Wade Barrett. He's going to be the hero kick in the corner. Oh, I got a little experience at this moment. I'm going to make a already up. Then what do? You do the whole rest of my life, what happened next, because we come into the grill area and there is Vince.
The long and short of this story is that a referee fucked up. That's basically the long and short of it, is that a referee fucked up in a match. That's all you have to know. And Ted DiBiase was real hot about it. Ted DiBiase Jr., excuse me. Ted DiBiase's son.
Standing up, headset off. And I make eye contact with him. Again, it wasn't my fault. And right before he can say anything to me, Ted Jr. blows by me. No fear. Looks at Vince and says, "Where is that referee? He was trying to fuck on me."
Classic wrestling. Good shit. Yeah. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I really fucking appreciate that. It means the absolute world to me. I didn't have normally if I'll just ask the subscriber, if you want I'll take a shot of hot sauce. If not, I'm gonna leave it to the side. I've been asked not to take it before, so I'm not gonna automatically take it anymore. Okay, cool.
Taxi, biking, asking friends or relatives, or my personal favorites, walking. And
Yeah, you don't fucking you're not poor in the Midwest, Joe. That's just what it boils down to. Anybody who says all that shit has not been poor in the fucking Midwest. Like, shit is awful. Like, Midwest or South, even. I feel like I should have gotten into wrestling as a kid, but I didn't have a way to understand it. We used to go to local wrestling. They had bad guys, good guys, feuds, etc. Cool. Yeah. If you stuck around for late in my streams before, Mr. Braindead, I try to watch a lot of Enjoy Wrestling, which is queer-friendly and trans-friendly wrestling out of Pennsylvania. And actually, like, I am a huge wrestling weeb. I always have been. I have a degree in gender and women's studies. And when I did my, it wasn't quite a dissertation, but it was like a really long paper that you had to defend. Dissertations are like fucking like 60 pages long, 70, 80, 90 pages long. My shit was only like 35 pages long. But I wrote it on gender performance in professional wrestling. And that's like, just to give you an idea, that's my shit, right? It's like I tie everything, all of my streams end up back on professional wrestling in some way, shape, or form. It's, if I'm the person who's known for being the wrestling weeb of Twitch politics, that I will wear that fucking badge with honor. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. But yeah. I'll get off on a wrestling tangent easier than just about anything else. Oh, and also if I ever reach I'll call it right now. If I reach 100 subscribers, I will read out my fucking I will redo that wrestling fucking presentation and I'll redo that wrestling presentation and give you all the PowerPoint. Like I'll actually defend my paper for y'all if I get to 100 subscribers. We'll celebrate with that. That's what I'll fucking do. It'll be a blast. I got a degree in women's studies, but now I manage this Publix. Yeah. Hey, jokes that hit a little too close to home, baby. No, like I got this degree in GWS. Now I'm unemployed and I stream on Twitch. I got a degree. Actually, I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I have a degree in English and GWS, which means I'm perfect at talking shit about gender issues. I know a guy who graduated with a BA in sociology who does manage a grocery store and is one of our Publix. Yeah. I mean, it's just what boils down to, like, this country doesn't give a shit about social sciences, you know? Social sciences do not pay the bills, you know? There's not that many good social sciences jobs. At least there's not, like, any easily identifiable social sciences jobs, you know? Like, there's jobs that we can do, but they're just not obvious. Like, I think that sociology majors and women's studies majors would be better served in positions of working in HR, you know, in corporate settings or counseling or things like that, like being in places where they can actually help people. But the problem is that for example, in the example of HR, those positions don't exist to help the worker. Those positions exist to protect the company, so they're not interested in people that are super educated, right? That's typically the case, but I digress. Back to this fucking video.
And if they can use any
Your degree is women and gender studies is worthless. Maybe it wouldn't be if you cared about women and gender equality. True, exactly. It wouldn't be worthless if we didn't live in a goddamn capitalist hellscape that only cared about fucking profit. Like, seriously.
of these methods for traveling to other places, why can't it be used for the library as well? You know what? Maybe there aren't any.
Also, all of those methods that she was talking about of like getting around takes so much more time and resources than just getting in your car and going. Like, if you don't fucking have a car, going to the doctor is an all-day affair. It's literally an all-day affair. Like, you have to get up. Like for example, when I fucking went to school and I was riding the bus everywhere, if I wanted to fucking go to the doctor, I would have to get up, get on the bus, take the bus to the fucking transit center. There was only one in my city. I had to take it to the transit center, wait at the transit center for the next cycle of buses to come through, then ride that cycle of buses, figure out which one went out to my doctor's office, ride that route out to my doctor's office, okay, be at my doctor's office appointment for a period of time, then go back to the bus stop, wait another hour or so for the fucking buses to run again, because there's only one route going around, right? On each route, there's only one bus taking each route. So wait a fucking hour at the bus stop again to go back to the transit center to wait for another round of buses to take the bus to get home. We're talking about getting up at like 9 in the fucking morning and getting back at like 9 at night. You know what I'm saying? Just to go to the fucking doctor. Maybe get one thing to eat while you're out. Like, that's not an exaggeration. That was like literally my life. Like, it's like what the shit? Like, yeah. We like, the reason why you can't take the fucking bus to the public library is because you're taking the bus to all those other places. It takes a fuckload of time. Like, being poor is expensive on both your time and money. Although, I mean, she did talk about this being racist, and she's done nothing but mention class distinctions, which do disproportionately affect non-white people. So it's a roundabout way to talk about it, but yeah.
libraries in town. Honestly, that's a damn shame. They're really great. But luckily, there are other resources available, like computer rental workstations at UPS, FedEx, or Staples.
You fucking think that if a town doesn't have a public library, they've got access to any of this shit? What fantasy world do you live in that a town that doesn't have a fucking library has a UPS store that you can rent fucking computers at? Also, shit costs money. Shit costs money. Like, that people don't fucking have if you don't have a fucking car. If you had the money to afford a car, you would just buy a car and your own computer and your own internet. Like, yeah, and cabs don't exist because no one has $9 plus tip to go to the doctor's office to McDonald's, let alone even have the money to eat off a dollar menu. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's like being super generous. Like when I lived, I actually thought Uber was a fucking godsend in my town when it finally came to where I lived, because like where I live now we don't have it, but when I was going to college, Uber was like a thing that you could use. But like it was a fucking godsend because like it's coming to a place of urban privilege, to be honest. Yes, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I'm feeling that sting here living where I live now. Because I used to, in the town where I was going to college, they had Uber and stuff. So it was like, you know, like you said, $7 to $9 to get anywhere around town, you know, if I need to go to the doctor or whatever. But the taxi, yo, I took the taxi to school like 3 fucking times, and it was never anything less than $15. Like, never anything less than $15 to go down a fucking mile or two. Like, not even that far. But because of the way, you know, roads are in cities and stuff, it never costs less than 15 fucking bucks to get back and to just go to school, not even to get back. Just to go one way. Like, who's got $30 fucking dollars to spend a day, right? And that's just like, and that's to the places that and that's like your everyday life. That's not even extra shit like going to the library to fucking vote or whatever the fuck she's talking about. And white privilege, even, because not paying rent living at home. Yeah, like all this stuff is like roundabout examples of white privilege, because poor people are disproportionately affected by or black people or non-white people are disproportionately affected by issues of class, right? And more likely to not have a car, more likely to not have a driver's license, all that shit. That's the whole reason we're fucking talking about this. Taxes are for poor people too, because poor people may not have bank accounts and smartphones. Yeah, exactly. I know people who still use taxis. Like, I saw a taxi riding around in my little podunk ass town that had the number, the old school like telephone number written on the back of the cab that you can call, you know, if you don't have a fucking smartphone. I saw that actually today. But yeah, if you don't have a fucking library in your town, you're not going to have a goddamn Staples. The shit are you actually talking about? And Goodwill? Check programs at Goodwill. Goodwill in the South is so far away from having fucking computer rental programs. Like, holy shit.
You can even check for programs at your local Salvation Army or Goodwill that can help you with this type of stuff. But perhaps this person does know how to get an ID, but they just don't have the money to get one. Okay, fair enough. Well, on average, government-issued IDs are around $30, but it depends on where you are. And thankfully, there are some states that have free options. Realistically, though, $30 isn't a lot of money. So perhaps...
Fuck you. Fuck you, $30 isn't a lot of money. The fuck? Excuse the shit out of me. $30 could feed me for a fucking month when I was living by myself, okay? $30 was groceries for an actual fucking month. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not bullshitting y'all. Like, it was literally there was some months where I had to go. $30 had to stretch me the whole fucking month. $30 isn't that much money. You can fucking get bent with that shit.
There's something this person can cut back on in order to save up to obtain that.
Ramen canned vegetables, baby. Hell yeah. I've been posting in Discords, food Discords recently, my ramen pictures, because I'm actually proud of them. Like, I've been soft boiling eggs, and I know how to I figured out how to get the perfect yolk in a soft boiled egg. And I've been actually putting in my ramen, and like it's so fucking good. And you can like elevate $1 or 50-cent pack of ramen to like being like something you get out of a fucking store. It's so tight. And some Vienna sausages. Yep. Spam's too expensive. 5-pound sticks of bologna for $6. Yep. Not even the sliced stuff. Just the big actual bologna slice that you had to cut yourself. Yeah. I remember that shit. Yep. That and the crappiest bread that they had that was like 60 cents a loaf. That was like the highest fructose. It was like basically all fructose corn syrup. It was like mostly fructose corn syrup and like a little bit of flour was the bread. I remember that shit. Yeah. Those are the days. My husband, as to the point, like, when we were first married, we used to make Hamburger Helper still, and my husband has pretty much come off of making Hamburger Helper altogether because he just makes better food now, and it's like I lost a piece of my nostalgia that I no longer make the Hamburger Helper, you know? Back in the day, that was when I went and got the stuff to make Hamburger Helper the day after I got paid. You know, that wasn't the stretch days; those were the fat days.
At ID. When I was in high school, I used to pocket my lunch money and go hungry in order to save up for new clothing at Hot Topic.
How much fucking lunch money were you getting, Gothix? How much were you getting for lunch? Holy shit. That's fucking wild. How much were you getting for lunch? Hot Topic's not cheap, dude. That's wild. I wish my parents had it like that. Shit, sometimes discount grocery store was too expensive. Yes, true. Like that was like that's what like I said. Those were the days that I was like thankful to be working at a fucking restaurant because you know what I'm saying? Like manager ain't watching. You know, walk out with a few Sammys. Feed yourself for a couple of days before you work again, you know. Also, restaurants, even beyond, by the way, don't steal anything. I'm not encouraging stealing. This channel would never encourage you to break the law. That being said, another benefit of being poor and working at restaurants is that they usually feed you. Right? And if you're working at a restaurant that like cares about the food or is a little bit nicer, you can usually eat better at work than at home. So it's an incentive to fucking come into work. Like there was days where I would be because there was days where I was just prep. Like all they would have me come in and do is prep, which is just like cut vegetables and like sliced cheese and mixed sauce and shit like that. I worked at a pizza place. And like that's all I did is I rolled I just cut vegetables, you know, and we had like deli sandwiches too, so I would like cut deli meat and shit like that. And it would be like a 3-hour shift and not even fucking worth my time to be there, but I would show up because it would be a free lunch, you know. Like that would fucking be work. Yeah. I worked at a pizza place too. Yeah. I've worked at several pizza places. I've worked at like the shit corporate ones, and I've worked at like a kind of nice one before too. But yeah, like that's why I went to work sometimes, is because they had free fucking food, you know. In the days where I was spending my money on not so great things, you know, and I wasn't exactly like I had money, but it was going to, you know, and not food. Yeah, I ate exclusively from the places that I worked at. Like I exclusively ate when I was like working at fast food places and spending all my money on you know, trying to get right to go to work. I would just exclusively eat out of fucking work, you know, like, and that's terrible for your health. But it's like a cycle, you know. They give you the free food and it keeps you coming back. Yeah, buying expired food for 20 cents on the dollar, but still go hungry before you make it to your next $50 or $60 eat that month. Yeah, Mr. Braindead, fucking been there, 1,000,000% been there. Yep, worked in a pizza place. If you're doing baller, if you did the deliveries, but you needed a car. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. I oftentimes borrowed my mom's car to make deliveries. Oftentimes borrowed my mom's car to make fucking deliveries when I lived in my hometown still. Yeah, yeah. I was definitely on that shit. Oh no, I thought I had made it when I first got into delivering pizzas. Like I thought I'd fucking made it, cause it was I called it like the best kept secret of labor. You know, it's because I actually was making okay money because I was making tips and you know, my hourly. Man, I'd spend any extra cash on food, booze, cigarettes, and cannabis. But it's really all I had for extra money. Yeah, exactly. I can't be explicit about the cannabis part because that's illegal in my state, right? So I don't want to tell myself too much. But yeah, I was actually it was back in the day when I was drinking too a whole lot. So I spent way too much on fucking alcohol. I'll just be real with y'all. Like I spent way too much for a while. Like, and there was times where I was too poor to even buy booze, which was like real talk. But like, yeah, I used to spend way too much on alcohol, and I mean that's addiction, right? You know, that's how it fucking works. Making tips and driving is chill. Oh shit, my car broke down. Yup. Or oh shit, the only car I can afford inevitably broke down. I drove a fucking Mercury Topaz for a little bit in the winter. It had no heat. It was no heat, so there was no defrost. Okay, so I had to fucking like defrost with hands and like scrape it off, you know. The windows didn't work. They had fucking handles up and down on the windows, and the car never got out of second gear. So it was basically it only got up to 30 miles an hour, struggled to do so, and I was delivering pizzas and that shit in the winter. Those were the good old days, baby. I always tell my partners how reckless I was back in the day, and they always fucking cringe. That was like the driving cars like that was very fucking dangerous. Like I should not have been doing that. Like visibility was not where it should have been inside of that car to be driving around in the fucking winter. Like, yeah, that's terrifying to look back on now, for real.
Because
This video's giving me all the nostalgia feels because I was poor. like this is literally giving me all the nostalgia feels because I'm still, I mean, come on, I'm still poor, but I'm not like I can fucking feed myself and well, actually, well, correction, my family, my wife can feed me because my wife's the fucking breadwinner. But like we collectively as a family aren't as poor as I used to be, you know. LOL, 30 or less. But it's only like 2 miles a while. This baby goes. Exactly. This baby goes to 30 on the best day. Good thing I'm delivering in town where it's 25 and under, baby. That's literally how it was. That's literally how it was. The only time I ever cussed out a customer for not tipping me was when I was delivering in that car. I'll never fucking forget it. I'll never fucking forget it. They tipped me. They gave me a check exactly on the cent, and I fucking lost it. It was like 20. It was like 20 degrees outside, and I normally like, dude. Looking back, that's super cringe. Don't bitch at people for not tipping you because sometimes that's all they can afford. That's all they can afford to eat, you know, and they can't make it out to get some food themselves. So don't fucking. It's really cringe. Don't yell at people for not tipping. That being said, I went the fuck off on these people because they didn't tip me and gave me a check with the exact cent. It was because I was delivering in 20 degree weather and didn't have any heat in my car.
I considered my sense of style a priority. But if I needed to use that money in order to purchase an ID, I would have done that instead. But
Save your lunch money, kids. Save your lunch money for a real ID today, and maybe you can participate in democracy. Ideas unironically presented by Gothix. Bougie ass people not tipping when the dude who lived in the hood tipped 30% pissed me off when I drove an Uber. Yeah, that's actually super common. Super common. Yeah, Uber stories are real. Yeah, that's like that's one of the yeah, a really good friend of mine, my brother growing up, who was not my blood brother, but lived with me growing up. He like he used to drive an Uber and give me the juicy Uber stories for sure, and those were always super fucking fun. But yeah, save up your lunch money, y'all, and maybe you can do a democracy. Maybe if you save your schmeckles. Fucking A.
Maybe this person doesn't have any money. Like, they are completely broke and they simply cannot afford a $30 ID and don't have any expenses they can temporarily forego. Okay.
Like, she literally unironically said, "Don't eat." Oh, there's pizza. Tight. Speaking of ballin', awesome. Thank you. She unironically said, "Don't eat, and maybe you can fucking vote." Holy balls.
Still happening.
Oh yeah. No, this is we're only halfway through. Yeah. I'm gonna pause, Andy.
That's why she responds.
Oh yeah, I've had Gothix on the screen long enough and it's in the title long enough, so I'm positive Gothix is watching at this point. So, hello. Welcome. I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for contributing to my viewership. Subscribe if you feel like it. That'd be really cool of you. But yeah, thanks for watching, Gothix. We surely appreciate it. Okay.
That's unfortunate, and I really feel for this person. But again, we're talking about an extremely small minority. So I would suggest to these folks in particular to inform themselves on important voting dates in their city so they're prepared. For example, most people know that the presidential election is every 4 years. So in that situation, this individual has 4 years to save up for $30 in order to obtain an ID.
Just throwing it out there, you need to vote every 2 years, y'all. It makes a lot more sense. The local elections that happen every 2 years actually affect your life way more than the presidential election typically.
To vote. And if they're incapable of saving up $30 in 4 years, then I question why this person is voting in the first place. I'm serious. If someone can't figure out how to operate a computer, let alone figure out how to obtain an ID, then how can we be sure that this individual can figure out how to properly research in order to vote for the best candidate? I know this is a very insulting question.
And there it is. There is the entire crux of the whole fucking argument of why Republicans get away with this shit. Is they get to insult people for not being able to figure it the fuck out. 100%. She literally said, if you can't get an ID, you don't fucking deserve to vote. That was the conclusion of this fucking conclusion of this video. Right? If you can't get the means that we define, you fucking don't deserve to vote. Right? It always comes back to usually they say the quiet part quiet, but Gothix, I respect her. She says the quiet part out loud. Okay? They don't fucking want everybody to vote. That's the entire point of this shit. Okay? So kudos. I actually commend Gothix quite a bit here. She said the quiet part out fucking loud, okay? They just don't want everybody to vote. Because if everybody fucking votes, they fucking lose always. More people vote, the more people fucking don't vote for conservative.
Question here, but logically make it make sense. I would put electing the leader of the free world at a higher priority than getting a government ID. This would mean that voting should be taken more seriously than getting an ID.
As far as material conditions are concerned, nah. You think the fucking president of the United States, you think who the fucking president of the United States is more important to people than being able to do all this shit you mentioned earlier? This is her own video. This is her own shit. This is her own shit. Like, she literally lists all this stuff. It's behind chat. You can't really see it. But she listed this entire list of things that took up half the fucking screen, talking about this is all the stuff you can't do if you don't have an ID. And then she turned around and said, voting's more important than this. For material conditions, I'm like terminally online, and I am way too plugged into fucking politics, okay? For somebody that doesn't work in it, I'm way too into this shit. And I'm here to tell you that getting fucking Medicare taken care of, or your welfare taken care of, your unemployment taken care of, way more important than, infinitely more fucking important than who you're gonna fucking vote for as far as the president is concerned. Like, seriously. I don't give a fucking fuck. Okay? I want you to vote for the person I want you to vote for. I want you to participate in democracy more than anything in the world. But you know what I want more than anything than that? You to live. I want you to fucking, you know, continue to walk the fucking earth, right? So, getting the ID it's way more important to get an ID for all of this shit that she listed than to fucking vote for president, okay? That's part of the reason why they argue that they can tie it to getting an ID, because getting an ID is so important outside of this, right? That this is just something they can tack on and say, well, everybody should have an ID anyway. So let's make it about voting too. But she's not even going to like stick to that point. She's going to jump around from that too, right?
And we're talking about an extremely small minority. So I would say, but maybe this person doesn't have any money. Like, they are completely broke and they simply cannot afford a $30 ID and don't have any expenses they can temporarily forego. Okay, that's unfortunate and I really feel for this person. But again, we're talking about an extremely small minority.
I got this earlier and didn't got off on a tangent, but then she started talking. She said extremely small minority again. The Atlantic, the decline of the driver's license. Young people getting driver's license isn't much anymore. Yeah, it's just basically declining. Less and less people have driver's licenses now because, you know, who can afford a fucking car? All right. See you in a little bit, Brain Dead. Thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate you. But yeah, gonna point out the fact that that people have less licenses. Like 16% fewer people between 20 and 24 have driver's license in 2014 than they did in 1983. So basically less people have driver's licenses now than they used to. Okay. Too busy to get a driver's license. Owning and maintaining cars too expensive. Being able to transport by others. So yeah, 10% of 10% fewer. Where's the actual numbers? I hate it when they especially pronounced in teens. Just 25%. Damn! 24.5% of 16-year-olds have a license. 47% decrease from 1983. 69% of 19-year-olds have a license. Damn! That means 30% of almost 20-year-olds straight don't have a driver's license. That's wild. So yeah, just having a driver's license is just less prevalent now. And my point is that more people don't have a fucking driver's license than Gothix is making out. That was my main point of looking at this, but I learned something.
So I would suggest to these folks in particular to inform themselves on important voting dates in their city so they're prepared. For example, Most people know that the presidential election is every 4 years. So in that situation, this individual has 4 years to save up for $30 in order to obtain an ID to vote. And if they're incapable of saving up $30 in 4 years, then I question why this person is voting in the first place. I'm serious. If someone can't figure out how to operate a computer, let alone figure out how to obtain an ID, then how can we be sure that this individual can figure out how to properly research in order to vote for the best candidate? I know this is a very insulting
Yep. If you can't get an ID, you don't deserve to vote. There it is. There it fucking is. Gotta love Gothix for saying the quiet part out loud.
question to hear, but logically make it make sense. I would put electing the leader of the free world at a higher priority than getting a government ID. This would mean that voting should be taken more seriously than getting an ID. And if someone can't get an ID, then I would argue they're not ready to vote in an election. Period. I've had an ID since I was 15, and not having one would have made my life significantly more complicated to navigate. If there's a will, there's a way, and we should be encouraging people to hold themselves responsible instead of making excuses for them. Because it's these excuses that are used to justify.
Hey, Gothix, how'd you get your ID? If you saved up your lunch money to buy Hot Topics and shit, how'd you pay for your ID? How'd you get that at 15? I wonder if somebody paid for that for you.
Unnecessary legislation. And this is why I wanted to challenge some of the most common excuses surrounding this topic on camera, so you can understand that we're talking about a very small minority of people, okay? Someone that isn't capable of researching how to obtain an ID, someone that isn't capable of figuring out how to get there to get the ID, and someone that doesn't have the money to obtain an ID. That's a very small minority.
Nope. Absolutely not. It's people who already just don't have an ID. And that's actually a pretty high percentage of people.
So now we're able to see that the amount
And
of
the reason why they don't have one is because buying and maintaining a car is fucking expensive. So what's the fucking point?
effort being used to condemn voter IDs is actually disproportionate to how many citizens actually fall into that category. So the question is, why? If you think back to what I said earlier in this conversation, based on what happened last fall, most people could conclude that not requiring IDs would be an easy way to, you know. But hold up, there's still the matter of Jim Crow 2.0. After all, SB 7 is a racist bill, right? Well, luckily for you, I have the bill right here, and I actually read through all of it, and I can't find a single thing that I could link this to racism. But perhaps I missed something, so let's see what TexasDemocrats.org has to say about the bill. Voter rights advocates outraged as racist, ableist voter suppression bill advances through Texas Senate. SB 7 has been widely condemned as the latest in Texas.
What article? Did you link it? Interesting. Interesting that you don't link the article that you're referring to. I wonder if you selectively edited that shit. I wonder. Whew. Hell, too much hot sauce. I'm warm.
Republicans' voter suppression efforts. The bill includes extremist provisions that would make it harder to vote by mail, reduce early voting options, and require voters with disabilities to show a doctor's note before receiving a mail-in ballot. Moves that would add, oh God, okay, we're gonna skip all that. All right, this would basically put black and brown. That would add.
Wait, you just didn't even finish the sentence? Okay, hang on. Widely condemned Texas voter suppression efforts. The bill includes extremist provisions that would make it harder to vote by mail, reduce voter options, and require voter with disability to show a doctor's office in the mail ballot. These moves would practice add poll tax moves that in practice would add a poll tax for voters with disabilities and disproportionately limit ballot box access for voters with disabilities, black and brown voters working in Texas. She just blah, blah, blah at the end of this. She fucking yada, yada, yada'd it. Holy balls. Like, I've never seen anybody unironically yada, yada, yada something they're reading on the internet. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen somebody actually do that unironically. She actually yada, yada, yada at the end of this. I'm a little impressed at how bold that is. She actually, like y'all know what I'm fucking talking about when I say yada, 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 right? Wonder if I can find it pretty easily. No. Damn. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Shut up.
So Watley says to me, hey, I can make Catholic jokes. I used to be Catholic.
Now, see, I don't think it is a Catholic joke. I think it's more of a Raquel Welch joke. What was it? No, I said, hand me the buoys.
Don't you see what Watley is after? Total joke-telling immunity. He's already got the big two religions covered. If he ever gets Polish citizenship, there'll be no stopping him.
What are you gonna do?
I think this Father Curtis might be very interested to hear what Watley has the Pope doing with Raquel Welch.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Beth.
This show is cringe, but I got hopefully it's going to be the clip I think it is.
Bye.
They're not getting a baby, so you're taking them to lunch.
I thought it would be nice.
Poor Beth.
Hey, Arnie's just as upset.
Oh, screw him.
Listen to this. Marcy comes over and she tells me that her ex-boyfriend was over late last night and yada, 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 I'm really tired today.
There we go.
Ex-boyfriend was over late last night and yada, 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 I'm really tired today. You don't think she'd yada, yada sex?
I've yada-yada'd sex.
Really?
Yeah. I met this lawyer. We went out to dinner. I had the lobster bisque. We went back to my place. Yada, yada, yada. I never heard from him again.
But you yada-yada'd over the best part.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
Elaine was far and away the best part of this show. Okay, so yeah, you yada yada it. You just said yada 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 over the part you didn't want to fucking mention, right? And she literally said yada 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 over the important part of what the fucking Texas Democrats were saying.
Oh, God. Okay, we're gonna skip all that. All right.
Of course, yeah. She literally just yada yada the part that like fucked up her argument. Because this literally does produce a poll tax for people with disabilities because they have to go they have to go to the doctor and pay for a doctor's visit that's unnecessary to get that fucking doctor's note. That is a tax on them. That's a tax on their fucking time. That's a tax on their actual money. Both.
This would basically put black and brown voters were okay, whatever. Okay, so they're saying that this bill would reduce early voting options. Not sure how that's racist, but all right. Luckily, most people should know the voting dates months in advance to be able to ask their boss for time off or make proper arrangements for that to happen. Sorry.
Or your boss says fucking no. How about that? You ever think about fucking that? You ever think about that? Sometimes you can't get off work to fucking vote. Happens all the goddamn time.
But there is no excuse for not having the time to go vote. If voting is important to you, you'll make the time and you'll figure it out. Next up, requiring voters.
Yeah, just save your schmeckles and quit your job. Gothix has got you. Save your schmeckles, quit your fucking job, and even you too can maybe participate in democracy. Maybe. If you're smart enough. If you're good enough. If you have enough money. If you're a landholder. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that's like this entire argument, you know? It's just it's wild the mental gymnastics that they get away with just to basically roundabout say not everybody should be able to fucking vote, right? It's a long walk. It's an awful long walk to say not everybody should be able to vote.
With disabilities to show a doctor's note to receive a mail-in ballot. Yeah, absolutely. As we just discussed, you should know months in advance about the voting dates, and if you forgot, that's unfortunate. Also, if you're on disability, you have to already go to the doctor, so getting a note shouldn't be a big deal. The reality is, mail-in
That's not how any of this works.
voting was at an all-time high, and I'm sure you all remembered what problems followed as a result.
The most secure election we've had in decades, and more people voted this year than ever before. That's why they're fucking mad, okay? All this bullshit that they keep throwing out and trying to cast doubt on this last election and saying this last election was a disaster, it's because they fucking lost. That's the only reason this last election was a disaster. This her face is because they fucking lost. We all know what happened when we let enough people vote. Literally, we all know what happened when we let the uppity ones vote. Holy shit. Like, yeah. Wow.
Oh, sorry, was I not? Mail-in voting, to put it bluntly, would make it easier for someone to cheat if they wanted to do that.
Citation needed. Fucking citation needed. I need you to prove that shit because nobody's been able to prove that yet.
This isn't me suggesting anything, YouTube moderators. I'm just saying this cannot logically be ruled out as a possibility, and no sensible critical thinker can deny that. And for anyone that—
Wait, what? What was that thought-crushing cliche?
So getting a note shouldn't be a big deal. The reality is, mail-in voting was at an all-time high, and I'm sure you all remembered what problems followed as a
Yeah, y'all fucking lost. That was the only problem. Y'all went to, oh, by the way, you went to fucking court over this stuff. Y'all went and lost fucking 60 court cases in a row over this. So you're objectively fucking wrong. Okay? It was a disaster for you.
result. Oh, sorry, was I not? Mail-in voting, to put it bluntly, would make it easier for someone to cheat if they wanted to do that. This isn't me suggesting anything, YouTube moderators. I'm just saying this cannot logically be ruled out as a possibility, and no sensible critical thinker can deny that.
Nope. You absolutely have to fucking prove that. No critical thinker would just believe you blindly. No critical thinker is just going to take you at face value and take you and swallow your statements without questioning them. That's what critical thought is. You keep using this word. I don't think you know what it means. Like, seriously. No, like, you have to absolutely prove that mail-in ballots, that mail-in voting makes it easier for people to fake votes. Okay? Because guess what? We proved over 60 fucking court cases that that's fucking false. That this election was completely on the up and up. Y'all lost all the goddamn court cases, okay? Y'all won 0%, okay? We proved in a court of law, okay, that fucking this election was totally legitimate. Several times over we proved in a court of law this is legitimate, okay? There's your fucking critical thinking. Is go look at the evidence. Go look at the court cases. Go read the shit for yourself. Okay? Gothix, I forgot you're here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot you're here. Gothix, please go read the court cases that followed the 2020 election, okay? Because obviously the way you're speaking in this video, you didn't seem to have read any of them, okay? We looked into it. There wasn't any voter fraud last election, okay? We did plenty of looking into it, okay? We dragged that shit out for fucking months, all right? And y'all lost 100% of the cases, okay? Like, please go look that up because I think that's a blind spot on your research for this video.
And for anyone that—
Which seems pretty odd since you're talking about the presidential election and like that was the only thing people were talking about. It seems like a pretty big blind spot, you know?
finds that possibility to be a good thing, I want you to really consider if trusting someone who cheats, lies, and has no regard for the Constitution would be someone that you would put your trust in.
What? And by the way, here's a nice straw man for ya. The fuck? You wouldn't trust a communist with your votes. This shit, man.
Again, not accusing anyone of anything, but
Literally doing that.
just something to think about. Because those types
I'm just asking questions, everybody. I'm just asking questions.
of folks don't have any allegiance to their country, so I doubt they'd have allegiance to you. Just look at Cuba right now. And no, I
Venezuela, Cuba. Cuba's fucked over because oh, actually, you know what? Let's look at Cuba. I always like to do this whenever they bring up Cuba. It always gives me the chance to do this. Yeah. If you put in insulin on the internet, one of the first thing that comes up is insulin price in Cuba. That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Come on, where are we at? Is Cuba not on this list? What the fuck? Damn it. How dare you? Why would you do that to me, internet? Why would you act like... Okay, there we go. Damn it. It was like a whole story. The insulin was cheaper in Cuba than it is here. Yeah, continue to cite. Shut up. Yeah, insulin prices are in 2018. I can't fucking find it. But anyway, you can get Cuba, like, basically, healthcare is cheaper in Cuba than it is here. It's the long and short of it. You can actually, like, they have some sort of, like, of healthcare there instead of just, like, letting people die like we let people do here.
I didn't forget about SB 202. I read through that as well, and again, can't find anything moderately close to
Well, you probably skipped over fucking half of it. Like when you were reading earlier.
racist. I've seen some articles that suggest the bill would target black and disabled folks by making it a misdemeanor for people to hand out money or gifts, you know, coercion, including but not limited to food or drink to anyone standing in line to vote, because lines for voting are drastically long and this would put some voters at a disadvantage. Okay, well, I don't know if Democratic politicians realize this, but there's this thing. It's really great technology. It's called a water bottle, right? They come in all various shapes and sizes, and some are insulated, so you never have to worry about someone bringing you water, because you can...
The very thing that they're saying are illegal to bring people, she's gonna act like it's a fucking gotcha? What? You know this whole thing is about not getting people fucking water, right? And you know who can't afford a fucking $30 goddamn insulated water bottle, Gothix? Poor people. You know who else has to fucking deal with this shit? People who in their area have like one fucking polling place and they have to wait hours in fucking line. Hours in line in the hot ass sun to fucking vote. Yeah, they don't have a fucking insulated nice water bottle, Gothix. Maybe somebody, it would be okay to like bring them some fucking water. That's literally what they fucking made illegal. What? She's acting like it's a fucking gotcha. Be like, here's a fucking water bottle. What the hell are you even talking about? And giving somebody fucking water bottles so they can actually stand in line a little bit longer is not fucking coercion. That's just making sure people are accommodated so they can, I don't know, survive.
Bring some for yourself. And would you believe it? They even have this thing called a lunchbox so you don't have to starve to death while waiting in line. Seriously?
Imagine the absurdity of telling somebody who has to wait hours in line to vote that they've been and standing in hours when you know that your like fucking white friend a town over got to vote in like 10 minutes. You know for a fact you're being suppressed, okay? You know for a fact that there's a reason why it takes you 3 hours to vote and it takes them 10 minutes to vote, right? Because they know that fucking they don't want you to vote. They know that they don't want you to fucking your vote to be that they want your vote to be suppressed, right? Imagine the audacity if somebody said just pack a fucking lunch. Oh, yes, you too can participate in democracy. Just pack a fucking lunch, peasant. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Bring a picnic. Fuck. I don't know, like bring a sleeping bag, fucking a tent. What the fuck are you gonna need to vote eventually? Holy shit!
By this logic, this small minority of voters have never waited in line for a concert, a new pair of Jordans, or a Black Friday deal. Why are people excusing mediocrity instead of encouraging perseverance?
Yeah, funny thing. Poor people don't wait in line for those shits either. I've never waited in line for fucking Jordans in my goddamned life. Like, what?
Is it inconvenient to get an ID? Sure, I can admit that. But unfortunately, nothing that's worth achieving in life is easy, and I think condemning voter ID laws would not only leave the door open for potential fraud.
Haven't proven that. In fact, we proved you're wrong. In court. Huh. Funny part about that is you're objectively fucking wrong. You're objectively wrong, and it's been proven in court. Funny thing about that.
I think it also sets a bad precedence by suggesting the bar should be lowered instead of pushing people to overcome their adversity.
Oh, holy fuck. That's been a line that's been used on poor people since for fucking ever. Bootstraps, motherfucker. Yeah, those are the two poorest possible arguments to say that these laws aren't racist, and to argue against fucking voting from home is to say that it made it like it increased voter fraud, which we've proven in court to not be the case. And also bootstraps. Those are the two arguments.
If you don't have adversity, it makes you comfortable. If some things are just handed to you with little to no.
Yes. No adversity. Being comfortable means that you don't fucking produce anything. That's why every fucking billionaire ever was handed a goddamn loan from their parents. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah, being comfortable. That's why billionaires have the superhuman work ethic, right? Because being comfortable makes you fucking not work. It makes you not work. It literally goes against everything else the fucking conservatives say, right? They say that adversity makes you big, strong, and that once you get comfortable, you don't fucking work hard anymore. But billionaires are the hardest working people on the planet. Somehow they are.
No work, you'll never learn how to overcome life's obstacles. And I think the truly racist thing about this entire topic is not holding black and brown citizens to the same standards by creating excuses for them.
Yeah. Creating laws, like being opposed to laws that were literally written to suppress non-white votes. That's the same as making excuses for people, right? Speaking out against laws that actively hurt black and brown people is the same as making excuses for them. Speaking out about oppression is the same, apparently, as making excuses for those oppressed people.
So going back to what I said about BLM at the beginning of this video,
They love to conflate pointing out a problem with saying that it's impossible to overcome, right? That's like simply pointing something out is beyond the pale, because they literally can't handle it.
The main consequence of this movement was that it conditioned people into not taking responsibility for themselves. And I'm bringing this up because it's very important for people to understand how this narrative of victimhood is being used for personal or political gain. With BLM, there was too much complaining about officers and less time focusing on the root cause of those interactions, like why the suspect was breaking the law in the first place. This shouldn't upset you, because what I'm saying is no different from what a responsible parent would teach their child. I don't care what the reasons were for breaking the law. Everyone has choices, and by overlooking those choices, it will keep people in a perpetual state of victimhood. You really want to help someone? Hold a mirror up to their face and make them take ownership for the choices they make in life. And if you want someone to...
It's exactly what we fucking do with the goddamn government, because they've been fucking holding us down, and we're holding up the fucking mirror to their asses. Exactly. Fuck that. And that's all we want to do. That's all we do, is highlight the reality of the situation, and they fucking can't handle it.
To be dependent on others, continue blaming all of their shortcomings on someone else. Voter ID laws are not racist, so don't be fooled, America. Use common sense and don't be afraid to ask questions. If something doesn't sound right, it probably isn't. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget...
Again, your feelings are the most important thing that you can hold dear. Trust your gut, not your brain. That's 100%. That's the conservative line, right? Always less thinky, more feely. Yep, always. That's their entire line can be summed up. Less thinky, more feely. Whew, we made it all